okay, I might get canceled for this, but I'm not really a big proponent for like arguing with every person ever. I'm a big proponent of like picking your battles or just asking yourself if it really matters in that moment, if that makes sense. Like, just, I know people on the internet will say, no, you have to stand up for what you care for, all what is right all the time. You know, I'm just like, I don't care enough. Especially in a family situation, you know, I'm trying to enjoy time with family despite their weirdness. I'm not gonna go in there and cause a big issue when none needs to be had. You know what I mean? It's just not worth it. Yeah, you don't need to do that. You don't need to live with the world on your shoulders like that. Just think about what really matters in the moment. If that makes sense. Yeah, it's like I think people have lost the nuance of ignoring an old person when they start yelling about weird stuff. Like, yeah, Grandpappy, I don't know anything about that, you know? You live more life than I do, so I'm not going to say anything. You literally lost your wife. You can say whatever you want, Grandpa. Whatever makes you feel better, no matter how belligerent, just whatever. You know, his wife is dead. He has nothing to live for. Just leave him alone. You know what I mean? He's seen enough. Yeah, I have no interest in arguing with people. It's not like it'll change anything. Right? Anyways, yeah. Anyway, sometimes not engaging will put off the fire and desire to argue, to be honest. Yeah, exactly. Maybe if you don't argue, and they don't get a reaction, then you hear about that stuff less. If nobody responds to think of Thanksgiving table. Your uncle started a political argument. Think if nobody responds to what he said in the first place. After a couple Thanksgivings, the family will just realize that's just not something everybody wants to talk about, right? And then you won't have any more arguments at Thanksgiving because they won't talk about that anymore. A family gathering works a lot like the internet, chat. It works a lot like the internet. Once it stops being interesting, they'll shut up. You know what I mean? Yeah. I wish that would work. Yeah. Oh, wow, that's crazy. More mashed potatoes, anyone? Yeah. Wow, Uncle Bob, your steaks are perfectly grilled. Man, I love ribs. Yeah, they just won't speak it in the first place because they'll realize it's not really a conversation anybody wants to have. Kind of spineless but safe. Well, go ahead, have your full spine Thanksgiving argument. If that's your vibe, I'm not stopping you, chat. I'm not stopping you. I'm just saying I like to keep my peace. I like my fam. I like being with my family. You know? I like being with my family. I don't like being in family arguments. I just vibe, you know. Yeah, I don't speak for you, chat. Don't let me speak for you. If you enjoy that kind of thing, go right ahead. Go right ahead! And plus, if you got into arguments, you might not have, like, your weird uncle step in and tell you about the wildest conspiracy theory. You know what I mean? I would never want to take that away from either my stepdad or my mom to tell me some of the wildest stuff I've ever heard in my life. Why would you stop that? Why would you stop that with arguing? Imagine them happily telling you about a crazy alien conspiracy theory having to do with the government. You know? Like, that's interesting. You know what I mean? You're missing out. You're missing out. You're missing out enjoying some unhinged conversation if you're just letting people have their moment. You absorb a lot more information that way. Sounds like good entertainment as an adult, but nightmare as a kid. I can totally see how it's a nightmare as a kid, though. Like, I do not blame at all for kids to start arguing, because that's all they know how to do, you know? Playing along is a fun time, never-ending entertainment. Exactly. Exactly. Let him cook. For a kid, it's bad, because you don't have context, right? You don't have context, but as an adult, you're like, Lamau. It's great. Or at least for me, I'm like, wow, this is content. This is content. Like, if I start arguing with them, I will have no actual content. If I just sat and observed, it's funny. It's funny. That's how you become a better comedian. You become a better comedian by observing. By really, volatile people. It's funny that way. I'm gonna tell you guys that. Yeah. It's called goading them on, exactly.
We do a little trolling. It's called we do a little trolling.
You become a true comedian that way. Interview them and put that video out there somewhere. No. The thing is, like, they're not actually, they're still normal people. They're they just got some views. It's normal most of the time. It's just sometimes, they got some views. Like, we'll be at dinner and then somebody will start off a sentence that's like the wildest thing you've ever heard. You know what I mean? You're like, damn. Here we go. Put on your seatbelts. Mom's at it again. I remember I was in Hollywood. We were vacationing. We were visiting Hollywood, and it was like the walkway of the stars. I forgot what it's called. The Boulevard of the Stars or whatever. And we were walking, and my stepdad just goes, "Did you know this group of people control all of this?" And then he said it so loud, I wanted to die. Everybody was staring at us like, you can't just do this in public. This is not acceptable, like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, no, come on. I was like, just keep it together for one, just not in public. Oh my god. Oh.
My fellow brothers, in the face of our common dangers, in this winter of our hardship, remember these timeless words, as we can.